Problems do you face when treating patients?
Huge degree of resistance. Huge degree of recidivism, which is people relapsing. The biggest problem is getting patients up to their ideal body weight or above. Because the latest data shows that if you get a patient up to their ideal body weight, to a body mass index of around 20.5, these patients have the best chance at maintaining their weight, getting rid of the eating disorder mentality, and not sliding back. The hardest hill is to get them to the top of that hill. Because if you don't, it's a slippery slope and they slide right back down.
Make herself thinner, says she's...
What differences do you see between treating males and females?
Yeah, so I think the point is the treatments are in many ways the same because we're addressing similar issues. We're addressing a body dysmorphia, which is experiencing your body and seeing your body differently than it really is, almost like in a carnival mirror, seeing your body as bigger and feeling that you're fatter than you really truly are. And that overwhelming issue is the same in males and females. And so, if we're dealing with an anorexic picture or a body dysmorphic picture, it's really the same issues. The same thing for binging. Each type of eating disorder has to be treated in a different fashion, which is beyond the scope of the answer to this question. But I think the treatment is in many ways the same, with some nuances in terms of sexuality and what does it all mean in terms of in terms of their sexual being and in terms of their, and it's not all about sexual being, but in terms of what their body means to them, and what does it mean to their opposite sex, to themselves, to members of the same sex. And also for males, let me add on this. When you look at males with eating disorders, you really almost have several subsets of males with eating disorders. You have heterosexual males, you have homosexual males who have a drive for thinness, much like the classic female. You have binge eating disorder males who are kind of like the guys that eat lots of pizza, so you have a lot of different pictures.
Sophie has a hard time coping.
What would you say to someone who's developing anorexia?
I would tell them to get help, because if you don't get yourself help, someone's going to make you do it eventually. Either that, or you're just not going to make it through it.
I tell them to get help before it gets too bad, because anorexia, it's not like a virus or a cold or something where you let it run its course and it goes away. It gets worse progressively, and it's like a snowball effect, or a boulder rolling down a hill. If you stop it before it gains so much momentum, it'll be easier to control. So I tell them that, and also just give them some advice, you're more than just a number. Your beauty comes in all shapes and sizes. It's not about that kind of stuff, and you can be an amazing person without being skinny or being the size that you are.
Immediately go into treatment, because that's the only way to help yourself. You can't do it alone. What are some signs of eating disorders?
Increased preoccupation with appearance, weighing oneself, playing with food, avoiding food-related events, decreasing their socialization with their friends, loss of weight. Depending on the eating disorder, it can be weight gain, significant weight gain. For males in particular, I would say relating to sports, sometimes there are weight goals to be met, like in wrestling and football, and that can be triggering and a sign. You might want to watch out for that if you have a friend who's involved in the sports. For a female, it might be something more like dance or gymnastics, or it could be sports as well.
There are a lot of traits. Obviously, thinness is an overwhelming trait, but it's not just thinness, because we have people who are thin who aren't anorexic. People who are thin, but extraordinarily so. People who almost look sickly, sunken in eyes, sunken in temporal areas, shoulder blades that really show, spinal areas that really show. You look at their arms. The arms are extraordinarily thin. Those are usually tip-off signs. People that have hair that's either dry or may even be falling out. Those are the signs of anorexia. One of the things that's really telling is not necessarily how the person looks, but how the person eats. And if a person picks at their food and orders salad all the time, often telltale signs that there's an eating disorder going on. That kind of food eating pattern. Clothing is another telltale sign. Most folks should not be a 00 or 0 in female clothing sizes. So when somebody's that small, it raises a warning flag. Most people who are 5'2", 5'3", or above should not be a size 0. They should be into a 2. There are many other
beautiful, my drug of choice, striving for perfection.